Hi guys, I hope you're all well and coping with the lockdown still. I want to talk to you today about Gideon in a series of heroes of faith. If you get a chance, I'd sort of recommend that you read Judges chapter 6, 7 and 8. Gideon's story is really about him doubting his ability and having to rely on God to do what God asked him to do, and in defeating the Midianites. Judges 6, 15 to 17 says, but Lord, Gideon asked, how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family. The Lord answered, I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites together. Immediately, when God asked Gideon to do something, his reaction was, oh, I can't do it, and he was really felt out of his comfort zone. So then Gideon moved on to ask God for a sign, and in Judges 6:36 to 40, he asks God to show him by putting out a fleece, so like a sheep's coat, and basically says he wants the first time he wants the ground to be dry and the fleece to be wet. When he goes in the morning, that's how it is. And he still says to God, oh, I'm being a bit cheeky, I want to ask for another sign, Lord. This time I want the fleece to be dry and the ground to be wet. And sure enough, the next day, that was what had happened. So then Gideon started to round up an army, as God had asked him to do, to defeat the Midianites. And he had hundreds of thousands tens of thousands of people in this army, but God said to him, I want you to whittle this down, because he wanted it to be obvious to people that it was God that had won this battle for him, not man's power. So there's various ways in which God whittled down the amount of people in his army, which is in Judges 7, 1 to 7. And basically, at the end of it all, he had whittled down to just 300 men. And all of this was to just prove that it was God and not man. The rest of chapter 7 is about how God worked through Gideon, and they defeated the Midianites. So it'd be good for you to read that if you can. So what can we take from this as Christians? First thing is, we all need to seek God. We need to be asking him how he wants to lead us, how he wants us to live our life, and what he wants us to do for him. And the best way to do that is to listen, spend time in God's presence, just silently, just waiting for God to talk to us, and asking him to lead and guide us. The second thing is, when you feel that God is speaking to you or saying something to you, there's nothing wrong with questioning it or seeking an answer from God to confirm that's what he wants you to do, as did Gideon. And there's several ways that we can do that, to know that it's God's will. Talk to other Christians about it, read our Bibles, and continue to pray. And seek God on that. Finally, act on what God's asking us to do, and a lot of the times it's maybe outside of our comfort zone, what God's asking us to do. But as we saw with Gideon, God will give you supernatural powers and strength to get through the task he's asked you to do, and to complete what he's asked you to do. So I just want to read 1 Corinthians 2, 1 to 5. And it says, when I came to you, brothers, I did not come with eloquence or superior wisdom, as I proclaimed to you to you the testimony about God. For I resolved to know nothing while I was with you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. I came to you in weakness and fear and with much trembling. My message and my preaching were not with wise and persuasive words, but with demonstration of the Spirit, its power, so that your faith might rest in man, not in man's wisdom, but in God's power. Obviously, by my reading, you can tell that my faith is not in eloquence and words. But yeah, if we just take from that passage what God's trying to tell us, we don't need to be eloquent. We don't need to be have wisdom, because God will give us the tools that we need. And just in closing, just remember, God's power is perfected in our weakness. Hope this has been good for you guys, and like I say, I would say to you, try and read the account of Gideon if you get time, and God bless you all.